They do not only deter people from committing crimes by punishing defaulters, they also incite them to good behavior with the prospect of honor and status. They set up statues in public places of distinguished human beings and of people who have placed the nation in their debt, both to preserve the memory of noble deeds and so that the glory of their ancestors may spur their descendants on to comparable behavior. Anyone who campaigns to be elected to public office is regarded as having permanently disqualified himself from any office at all. They live on good terms with each other, partly because none of their public officials is overbearing or awe-inspiring. They call them fathers, and that's how they behave. The people treat their officials with respect, as they should, and because they want to, not because they are forced to. The governor himself does not dress differently or wear a crown. What marks him out is a handful of grain that is borne before him, just as the high priest is identified by a candle that precedes him wherever he goes. They have very few laws, for they are so well trained that they hardly need any. One of their main criticisms of other nations is that they have innumerable volumes of laws and of commentaries on the law, but even those are not enough. They think it is completely wrong to oblige people to obey laws that are too numerous to be read from beginning to end, and too obscure to be understood by the person in the street. They will have nothing to do with lawyers, for they only quibble about the meaning of the laws and try to get around them. They think it is best if each person pleads his own case and tells the judge exactly what he would have told his own lawyer. As a result, there is less confusion, and it is easier to get at the truth. The defendant speaks frankly without having been trained in deception by some lawyer, and the judge carefully weighs up everything he says and comes to the assistance of naive witnesses who might otherwise fall victim to the false accusations of the cunning and deceitful. This sort of fair treatment is hard to find in other countries, where they have vast numbers of virtually incomprehensible laws. In Utopia, by contrast, everyone has an expert knowledge of the law. For as I have said, there are very few laws, and they believe that it is always fairest to interpret the law in its simplest and most obvious sense. They argue that the only reason for having laws is to inform every citizen of their duty, and subtle interpretations are scarcely helpful in telling people what to do, for very few can follow them. The obvious and straightforward meaning of the law, by contrast, is one that everyone can make out.